Okay. For not being set up and crazy. All right. So I just wanted to go live real quick because I'm having some problems. And a lot of times what people see is things going smoothly. And I just kind of wanted to show that there's also problems. And my airbrush is clogging up on me. So I'm looking for my uncloggerifier spray. There, nice.
I saw your murder cat.
Yeah?
Like, way over there.
Jonesy?
The black and white one.
Tuxedo. Yeah. Yeah, he gets around. It's good murdering hours right now. All right, so carburetor cleaner. Carburetor cleaner is meant to get gunky bits out of fiddly metal bits. Gunky stuff out of fiddly metal bits. An airbrush is fiddly metal bits, and why they don't work the most often is gunky stuff. So I'm just spraying some into my bowl here. Let's see if that will spray. Now we're a respirator because you don't want this stuff like really aerated all over the place. I'm pretty careful and I don't shoot it
Directly into his face.
directly into my face anymore. Okay. And all I'm doing right now is I have the carburetor cleaner in my bowl and I'm trying to open it up as wide as I can. This little bit goes up and down. Okay, so I'm not getting any action. Carburetor cleaner, I'm going to shoot it right down into there, into the end of my airbrush. I'm shooting into the end of the airbrush. That could dislodge or break up a clog. Truthfully, I did not have this I did not clean this airbrush the last time that I used it. Last time I used it, I was using a different alcohol-based ink. I'm just taking the bowl off and cleaning. And that's why I want to do this video, actually, because you guys see stuff go well so often. I want you to see some stuff going poorly. Oh yeah, see? I got some good gunk in my tubage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey Rob, can you grab me a push pin, T-pin?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm putting carburetor cleaner comes with this sweet little hose that goes into Hura. Get in there, hose. There it is. Now I can really direct that. First, let's try and pick this up. See that big clump? We shouldn't get that.
That's crazy.
What's that?
That's crazy gold.
Yeah, I brought out a better gold paint, Rob, for that. That just hit them. But I don't want to do too much more painting on them. I'm happy with them. We need to get them on that next stage. But now that I have this set up, I'm cleaning my bowl. Hi, everybody who's saying hello. You guys are all very nice. Now I know I've got good flow through that tube. If I have a real good flow through the tube, I should just be able to dip it through the tube. I should just be able to dip it, and it comes out. Now that tube is flowing freely. The tube is now not the problem. Now I can go to this. It's a little ball cap here, right there. This is connected to the body of the airbrush. No material ever goes in here. It all comes right in this end, through this tube, and through this. As you screw this cone down, it tightens up that cone. This is all the way open. I'm making it all the way open right now. Oh yeah, I got some good gunk on there too. And that's one of the things that the carburetor cleaner does, is it helps it just get out. Now, see, all right, so now it's coming out of the end of the airbrush. That's good. That's what I want. Now sometimes I'll crank it all the way down. What that does is it brings that cone down, it forces stuff out of the tip. So I brought it all the way down. All right, and while I've got this covered in stuff, I'm gonna grab a little cloth and just clean off my airbrush. Clean up, Rob?
Yep.
All right, so this is what that carburetor cleaner will do. That's just going to be shiny again if I would apply myself. I'm not really applying myself. Now, if I let the outside of my airbrush look like that, you can imagine what the inside looks like. So this really will help to just get the airbrush in better shape. And just stuff stopped running through it, so I said, hey, let's turn the camera on. Let's clean up the airbrush a little bit. So now I have my thing all the way down. Maybe I've got a little bit on that tip. Don't spray carburetor cleaner in your eyes. Terrible idea. Wear gloves. Don't get it on your hands. Do as I say, not as I do. It's kind of a role model thing. I'm not one. I'm an example. They're very different.
Horrible warning.
Yeah, a horrible, horrible warning. All right, so here we go, here we go. Now I'm going to open this up all the way. Put a little bit of carburetor cleaner in it. My bowl is open. My bowl's full of carburetor cleaner. Can I get carburetor cleaner to go through it?
Are these straps?
Yeah. No, I cannot get carburetor cleaner to go through it. So I'm having some other problems in here. I've got some stuff going on. Once again. During the feed, an ad came up. That's very weird for a live video. Look at this. All right, so that's dirty. You know, got a dirty tip. It's gross. That is lots and lots of ink buildup and such coming through this airbrush. Okay, I was just saying that now I've got good flow through the airbrush. Well, I'm sorry that YouTube made you angry. Or did I make you angry? Haunt season is actually going very well. We actually have, this is the year I think that I finally made like my favorite haunted house. I look at everything that I do, of course critically, and I've seen a lot of haunted houses. So it's been very easy for me to say over the years, well that's, you know, where I'm working right now isn't my favorite haunted house. They did something a little better or different or bigger or whatever, but I think I'm working at my favorite haunted house right now. Yes, my favorite one I've ever been to, which is not something that, you know, you can always say, you know. So I'm very happy with how haunt season is going. I'm very happy with our show. So, yeah. So, gang, it's 9. Y'all want to head out? I'm just airbrushing details on these guys,
I will leave this.
and that's all that I'll be doing. Thank you guys for your help. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay.
But you need to close it behind us.
Yeah, I will. Okay. Sorry, guys. All right. So now that I've shot that out again, I don't want to put ink in it yet. I want to put carburetor cleaner in it again. Airbrushing is a wonderful way to do. Oh, look at that. Now it's flowing and going right there. That's great. So whatever was in there, I got it out. And it is flowing that carburetor cleaner like crazy. Right through the air. Remember, wear a mask. Because I'm aspirating this. Now I happen to have doors open. And I have a ton of fans on. So it's actually not that bad in here. But you don't want to do this. Now I can go to my Havana Brown, which is a acrylic ink, which is an alcohol-based ink. Running my airbrush dry. Okay. Well, I'm glad that, I don't want to alarm you, but you were very angry and now you're happy. You could be bipolar. Just get it checked out, you know. It's common in the haunt industry. Happens to, oh, yeah, see? Oh, see, and that's ink, so that's good. Crank it down a little bit. That's a nice, clean airbrush. I mean, even looks cleaner on the outside. That's good stuff. All right. What I'm doing, all I'm doing, is I'm outlining all this stuff just to make these pop a little bit. It's the difference between the outlined and the not outlined. I think I had you guys set up for that being really close. We'll move you guys back a little bit because now I am kind of airbrushing. And I'll start airbrushing over here. These are apocalypse masks, what these are. These are my apocalypse masks. They're mostly EVA foam. I use other bits and baubles on them. I'll be right back. You're going to have like 20 seconds of dead air. Okay. And that's why I'm not a professional YouTuber, because I give you guys dead air. So, sorry about that. This is one of my apocalypse masks. Not everything is. But it's not rusted yet. This look, the guys, you know, they're all different. You know, there's a bunch of different designs and things that I'm doing here. All right. And this Havana Brown is what I'm using. I like it. I use it on my apocalypse masks. I won't say exclusively, but I pretty much only use it on apocalypse masks. Well, William, I'm glad you feel that way. I really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. I've been a little too busy. Okay, so look at the difference between this turnbuckle and this one where the wires come through. I've airbrushed that one, so it looks a little, it just has a little more depth to it, you know? There's some debris that's gotten caught right there. And debris happens. All right, so now in here, see, that just, it's more depth. It's a darker color around the bases of the tubes. You know? Anywhere these plates are joining each other, I just want to hit a line of that. I think, oh, down here. This isn't like the final, because I still have to rust these. Thanks, Ronette. I'm all out of brown. I'm so lost without it. All right, put this on her. I'm going to put a little more Havana brown in my airbrush. This is Pinata Color Havana Brown. It's translucent. It's lovely. One of my favorite colors or whatever in the world is actually a leather stain. It's saddle tan leather stain. Tandy Gel Antique leather stain. But that's water-based. So there's only, you know, there's certain things that it's just not very good for. This is alcohol-based. Really good for these masks. See that? Just adds a difference. This is a good color between all metals. It's kind of rustish, but it's not rust. Sexy is the word you're looking for. Sexy is what I think that is. I'm going to put this guy away. We'll grab another one. I really like doing these apocalypse masks now because they're so different, you know. Each one I get to make be something else. You know, you've seen 3 of them, I think, so far, and they all look different because they are all different. See, and some details are put on there, and like this metal plate on there, that's all just carved in with a soldering iron. But it's going to read well enough to get the point across. And this stuff does go on a little bit stronger than you'll see it. As it dries up, it lessens a little. Don't mind outlining. For a little while, I was playing Warhammer 40K, which is a miniatures game. And a lot of the lessons I learned painting miniatures, I use on these, you know, dry brushing and painting highlights and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Same kind of deal, it's just bigger. Always just get in the habit of putting your cap on before you set the bottle down. It only takes like one accident for you to figure out, hey, I better start doing that. This stuff isn't bad, like Havana Brown. This is only, I don't know, $6 or $7 bottle. But there are paints, for sure, that are way more expensive. See, that just looks better. Oh, it pops that. Makes it nice. Yes, it's nice with a K. This little patch is dirty. A little bit of yuck coming out of there. Maybe that's a vent for something. Filter system. In case he has to Bear Grylls it and drink his own urine. You never know. You never know. That's like from the Dune suits, I think. But that is better than before. Now these guys have not been rusted yet, but I will rust them. Here's another apocalypse mask. All these guys, what do they have to have? They have to have something over the eyes, and they have to have a breathing apparatus. So that's like the hallmarks of this. It's the design language, I call it, of these guys. Do I have a video of how to make the black guy? Racist? Hello? I don't know what you're referring to. Help me out. Like that, the chicken form over there? That one? Hello, Horror Beauty Effects. It's good to see you again. Seeing a lot of old familiar, not old, you're not old, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying familiar. I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces from live videos. I've been a little bit swamped. Oh, this thing. It's just a head form. Normally, I will make my own. This one happens to be one that I bought from Asylum Props, my buddy Richard's company. I needed one, and I bought one from him. I think I got it from him at one of the shows. I just like, you know, I support my friends. Look at how nice that looks on that gold on there. Oh, so sexy. And this is haunt paint, you know. I'm painting these for haunted houses. I don't know what, I'm not a collector mask guy. My skill level isn't there. I'm a haunted house mask guy. And that's where and how I do things for haunted houses. So they're meant to be seen in low light, so I'm painting them for that. I want them to pop. I want to have contrast. So that's pretty important to me and how I operate. Some of these guys don't want that, but I'm not necessarily. I'm not a great sculptor. I'm a good sculptor. Oh, I'd show you a little bit of a mask right there. Yeah. All right. Move it on over. Rock it on over. Move over, nice dog. A mean old dog is moving in. So these are kind of Mad Max, Wasteland Weekend type. I just want these guys to be fun. The series is the Apocalypse Masks. I don't know what kind of apocalypse, just it was a cool name, I used it. Hey, nothing's coming out right now. I'm almost out of ink, but I think I should have some ink coming out. So to fix it on the fly, I'm opening way up, and that let me shoot out the little clog that was in there. So open all the way up. Now I think I maybe am at it. Yeah, I'm dry. How dry I am. And I don't know if that's a real song, How Dry I Am. I have no idea. But I heard Bugs Bunny sing it when I was a kid, so now sometimes I sing it when something is dry. All those references that I got from Bugs Bunny, don't know what else they're for. Oh, yeah, see, we were out of stuff. Now we got plenty of stuff. So many of the stuffs. I don't know, man. You can make some cool characters that are in wheelchairs. Before I had a real big, I was putting out a lot of stuff. Now I got a finer line on this. I'm doing finer detail. If you want to be tight, you have to get close. If I'm out here, I'm going to get a real fuzzy, hazy line because I'm just too far away. So I'm varying my distance. This is a single action. I'm getting air and ink at the same time. So I can't vary how much I do by anything other than getting closer. I want a lot more, so I'm opening up that cone. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Nice heavy line there. We'll line that. Do a shot down the side of that. Okay. That guy is done. But yeah, I mean, I basically wanted to do this live video to show you guys clean the airbrush. Oh, this is good. That ought to be dirty in there, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, sure, you'll betcha. Did I get the other side? Yeah, I got the other side. All right, so that one's set. I mean, it's just a different animal. A lot more depth. A lot more character on these. You know what? I'm actually going to pop this airbrush back into here. I'm going to run around. William, I'm glad to hear that. My wife actually just had some foot surgery. She broke her foot. And had to do a little bit of surgery to repair some things. So she is spending Halloween laid up, as you have said before. So look at those two eyes, and look at the difference between the one I airbrushed and the other one. Just some more depth. You're a monster at dark hour. Who is this? I don't reckon. Well, screen names are so weird. Well, I'm glad that my wife actually had the surgery because now it's, you know, I mean, she got it fixed, so it's not going to be a long-term problem. Modern medicine is awesome. And then see, now I airbrushed this guy before I turned the camera on. But I like how he turned out. Now this guy breaks one of my rules. This isn't a breathing apparatus. But it looks so cool. I had to do it. Okay. I call this guy Iron Monkey. I don't really name a lot of stuff, but I named him. Boom shalaka, boom shalaka, boom shalaka, boom. This guy, he flips up. It's like action figure stuff. Well, I just like it. I like it. I'm liking it a lot. Why? What made it fail, and how come you didn't try again? If at first you don't succeed, cool. Awesome, Garth. Why do you enjoy the videos? Punch up those lines a little bit, you know. Okay, so let's see if I have to do more on this guy. And I'm going to use the camera to tell me. You know what? You might think that people don't notice some stuff like that. The thing is, that is a subconscious detail, you know? Your eye is going to pick out so much, but then it's only going to tell your brain, the conscious part of your brain, about half of that. But your brain knows, it notices all the detail. Now in haunting, there are times when they're just not going to see it. So there's no point in killing yourself if they're not going to see it. Okay. So this guy, I would say, is now set. It's the same paint job. It just now has more contrast. You know, those things they're separate pieces now. Whereas before they were kind of very similar, very flat. And this guy, Garth, I chose the brown because the color's on the helmet. And black would be too stark. Black would be too stark of contrast for this. A lot of things I base in black, and these guys were black before I painted them, because I hit them all with leak seal. The first thing that went on them was a big coating of leak seal or flex seal. Which of the two, I prefer the flex seal, because it goes on with a lot of texture. If you don't want a lot of texture, then go with leaf seal. And all I'm doing, I'm outlining. Now I could go in and I could, dab some of this off. And there's 100,000 types of weathering to do. Maybe there's not 100,000, but there's at least 100. Ways to weather things and techniques and tools. This Havana brown looks great on the brass and the gold, and that is why I'm using it. Because I do, a lot of these guys have brass irons. I probably should have done a little more iron on these. But I ended up making them brassy and, you know, they're almost a little steampunk. But I'm going to rust them. So when I rust them, there's going to be a lot of rust on them. So they're bright now, and they're going to come right down as soon as I rust them. Yeah, so that's all 8 of these. These guys will ship tomorrow. They're going to Canada. But you guys can see now that this airbrush got to be working pretty good when it was completely clogged earlier. And that secret was carburetor cleaner. Now I had not used that airbrush for probably 2 weeks, and I hadn't cleaned it after the last time I used it. So I'm not surprised it got a little gummy and needed a little bit of love. That's fine. Boy, this Havana brown color makes me happy on these guys. So what I'm going to do, something that I really like to do now, is I'm going to put them all on the same table, and then I can show you guys what they look like. Taking a bit of moving around. I also need to use skewers sometimes. Because these are made for human heads, and wig heads are not human heads. You guys are not tethered, so I can... Like this guy wants to look down. The bullets are actually heavy. On a head, it fills it up, and there's no trouble. But here... There we go. See that one skewer in there, and now he's going to be facing straight ahead for me. And I'll hit these guys with maybe a black wash after I rust, but for now, I think they're going to be okay. And a black wash is a really thinned down black paint. And it'll be black ink, actually. Again, I love the skull in this one. I got 3 more to put up there. So all these got an EVA foam, which is floor mat foam. This stuff. That's what all these are made out of. Now there's 2 on there that are not on there. You know what? I'll move there. So someone asked about head forms, about making these. Just buy one. You can buy them from Monster Makers. You can buy them from David Mosher, M-O-S-H-E-R, Mosher FX. He has really nice ones. If you just want a form to put heads on, then there's cheaper ways to do that. But if you want to make masks, then yeah, you want to get one of these. So a lot of the details on these, you guys saw me do tonight. The detail paint. I just did something to my arm. Ooh, it hurts. Getting old sucks. Don't do that if you have a chance. They're all great, but the skull mask does rock. It does kind of rock. You're not lying. You're right. Ronette, if you look at my YouTube channel, I do have several live videos where what I'm doing is I'm making them. So I do make them on my YouTube channel. This one breaks the rules too because I don't have anything over my eyes. You can see my eyes. Far enough back, it's not a big deal. But you can see my eyes. Yes, I have. I do remember that Predator. That was forever ago. Okay. All right, so these guys, I'm going to let them dry for a bit, and I'm going to come back in a couple hours, and then I'm going to rust them, because rusting is a different process. Oh, well, thank you. Amateur means to love, so I still love what I do, so I'm an amateur haunter. Amor is the root word of amateur. So, yeah. In the mystical and magical 90s. And I believe that's my buddy Jeff. It's hard to tell with screen names on YouTube. And he wore a Predator costume that I made out of a wetsuit in like 95 maybe? And I didn't have anything for the feet, so I airbrushed a pair of socks. He put socks over his shoes, and those were the feet for the Predator. But I'm happy with these guys. If I do 8 Apocalypse masks, one of them is going to have for sure this like front shield that is, you know, sharp up front. I love that look. So one of them is going to have that. And if you buy 8 of them, which is not uncommon, one of them will be a skull of some kind. Sometimes they do the skull all chrome. I think those look good. This one has 2 skulls and a monkey, so that's fun. Yeah. But anyway, this is it. I'm going to head on out. You guys is great. Any questions that I didn't see, I'll go back and I'll answer this evening when I hop on comments. But I got them all based. We got all the base paint done. All I have left to do is the rusting. I'll come back in an hour or so and rust them. I just want this to cure up really good so they're nice and solid. Yeah, that's it. Oh, so I know what, I'll tell you something real quick about the movie. I'm happy with how this works. These sweet dome rivets on the side of the monkey, on his jaw. Eyeballs from the dollar store. They've got that seam. Just crack them on that seam. Dink, dink. And that's my... To adhere them, I put a little circle of foam on the inside. I glue that in, and then I glue that on. So, yeah. This is monkey. Because Bullet Tooth Tony was taken. All right, guys. Y'all are awesome. Have a happy Halloween. You'll see me on before Halloween. I still have some projects to do. These are going to be going out tomorrow, but so much fun. See you guys later. Thanks for watching. Go make stuff.